Many people envision Social Security something like the following. They think there's a giant porcelain piggy bank sitting somewhere in the halls of Congress or something like that. And when you pay your Social Security tax, your money goes into Washington, D.C., a bureaucrat collects the dollars and coins and stuffs it into this piggy bank. Then when you get ready to retire, a bureaucrat gets out his hammer, smashes the piggy bank, and ships this money back to you every month, maybe with some interest. Unfortunately, the giant porcelain piggy bank model of Social Security is completely wrong. It's fraudulent, false. There's nothing to it. To give you a better idea of how Social Security actually works, consider the very first recipient. Her name was Ida Mae Fuller. She paid a whopping $24.75 into the Social Security system. So how much did she get out, do you think? Maybe $30, $50, maybe $100? No, she collected $22,888.92. So this should give you a basic idea of how Social Security actually works. The second tier participants pay out the first tier participants. The third tier participants pay out the second tier participants. And so on throughout history to the modern day. So yes, I'll go ahead and say it. It does operate precisely like a Ponzi scheme. What about the much vaunted trust fund? What this means is that in some portions of Social Security history, the tax has brought in more revenues than they paid out in benefits. This money has gone into bonds, which means it's gone to pay off other government programs. So the trust fund, again, is a myth. They should call it the distrust fund. Consider how Social Security operates in today's world. Every single working class family pays 12.4% of their income directly to the federal government for this program. If you work for somebody else, it's split half and half, employer-employee. This makes it extraordinarily difficult, especially for lower income working class families, to pay off their debts, to move ahead financially, and to start saving up their own nest egg in case they face any emergencies. It makes it really difficult. It also suppresses wages, because this is another cost employers have to take into account. And it suppresses job creation as a whole, especially in conjunction with other wage control laws. So it really makes life difficult for the people who most are struggling to get ahead in life. In fact, even if you love the massive welfare state, if you think the government should be in the business of forcibly equalizing wealth, you should hate the Social Security program. Consider the absurd injustice of taxing a poor working class family 12.4% of their income, putting it into this pool that goes to subsidize people who include the rich millionaire out playing golf. But of course, my problem with Social Security runs deeper than that. I regard the program as a fundamental violation of the individual's rights to control his or her own income. So what are the alternatives then? Many of you are probably familiar with the proposal to, quote, privatize Social Security. What does this mean? This means that you take out a portion of your Social Security tax that you're paying to the federal government every paycheck. You redirect that into an account mandated by federal politicians, managed by federal bureaucrats. Now, once you realize that the giant porcelain piggy bank model of Social Security is a complete fraud, it will immediately strike you what the financial problem is with this proposal. Namely, it takes a whole bunch of money out of the Social Security program. Where are you going to make up the difference? Are you going to raise taxes elsewhere to funnel in the money? Are you going to sell off federal assets to make up the difference, or cut people's benefits? I would point out, if you're going to cut people's benefits or sell off assets, you might as well just use that to lower the Social Security tax and forget all about the accounts. Those are superfluous to those plans. As a political proposal, this has been terrible for Republicans. Republicans have never won the privatization debate, as well they should not. And in fact, every single Republican leader in the nation today supports not a privatization plan, but the traditional Social Security plan. It's a political stinker because it's a terrible idea. So what's the real alternative then? The real alternative is to phase out Social Security completely. Not for existing recipients, not for people getting the benefits today, for future recipients only, incrementally over time. You do this by phasing down benefits in some way. You can just cut the amount of benefits paid out. Or my preferred option is to slowly raise the retirement age over time. Every year you raise the payout age, which we should not confuse with the actual retirement age. by 2, 3, 4 months, depending on how you want to work out the legislation. And over a span of decades, you will find that the program is phased out completely. If you advocate free markets, you must oppose the, quote, privatization of Social Security, which, after all, puts the federal government in the position of holding a gun to your head and forcing you to contribute some portion of your income to an account managed by federal bureaucrats. In what universe is that remotely consistent or compatible with free markets, individual rights, capitalism? The hint is none. So, if you care about free markets, individual rights, you have to oppose the, quote, privatization of Social Security. And you instead must favor the eventual but total phase out of the system to restore us to a position of individual rights and free markets. Thank you.